Hello, Writer Boos. This is your sip and tip movie review of Uncorked.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live with the hardcore style.
Normally, I do sip and tip, wine and writing tips with a vino for the week, and then we talk of all things writing. But every so often, I do a movie review, and I thought that Uncorked was the perfect movie to do a review of. So I have my other phone with my notes on it because as I was watching, I started taking notes, and before I knew it, I was like, oh, I can do a movie review. So sometimes I call my friends and we talk about movies, like, oh girl, yes, 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 or don't waste your time. But I thought this one had really, really good qualities that I wanted to talk about from the perspective of a writer, not just a movie lover. And that's why I do sip and tip movie reviews. First, we'll begin with the name Uncorked. So I saw it and I was like, what? Uncorked? You mean like my Uncorked, a wine and writing experience where I teach people all of the nuances of writing books over brunch and wine? Sign me up. And there was a black man on the still shot? What is this about? Press play instantly. So my first thought is, how would I feel as a parent if I maintained, not started, but maintained a business in my family name that I wanted to pass on to my children and neither of them wanted it? So they're obviously Courtney Vance, Niecy Nash, mom and dad, son and daughter, never seen, never heard of before. Actually, I think Niecy Nash and Courtney Vance was the end of the familiarity in the cast, which I can appreciate, giving us fresh faces, fresh voices. But as a parent, I've done what my parents wanted me to do, which was maintain this business. And I'm maintaining it. It's thriving. It's successful. And we're about to open up a secondary location. And I want my children, my son in particular, to take this on. And he doesn't want to do it. I guess it's kind of like, a father is really, really good at playing sports and wants his son to play sports too. And his son doesn't want to play sports. He wants to participate in the arts like music or theater. There's that emotional letdown. There's that feeling of like, damn, where did I fail as a parent? My own child doesn't want to do what I want to do. But as parents, we know that kids have their own life to live, but we don't really want them to have their own lives to live. We want them to live the life that we want them to live. We raise them a certain kind of way, certain beliefs, certain morals, and we hope that they will take these morals and values and move forward through their lives as little baby replicas of us. So his father was really disappointed that Elijah, who was the main character, did not want to take on the barbecue restaurant, which is evident because in the very beginning, he's cutting up ribs and he messes up the ribs. So my first thought was, well, damn, how long has he been working in the restaurant? And then you come to find out his parents own the restaurant and they took it over from his grandfather. So if he wanted to learn how to cut some ribs and not massacre them, getting meat all over the place, cutting them all uneven, then this is something he could have learned and mastered because he's been in the restaurant business. Essentially, he was born into it. So from the very get-go, they do a great job of building his character. You see from the onset, this is not something that he wants to do. I also like that they hinted on creating generational wealth, which is something that we as Black people have been late to the conversation about. And there are reasons for that. I don't jump on my comments talking about slavery and the white man, all of that. Okay, I know and I get it. Still, we've been late to the table. But what we have now is a generation of parents who have started to foster creating generational wealth in their children, meaning my parents' generation has started to do that. There are things my daddy taught me about credit and saving money and being financially free that his parents couldn't teach him because they didn't know. And there are things that now I am instilling in my children when they see me launch a business, they see me go through the ins and outs of being an entrepreneur, trying to set systems up in place so that when they get my age and they have their own children, they won't necessarily have to work as hard. Or like Courtney Vance was doing, they could just walk into a business, walk into something, systems that are already set up, and they just have to, turn on the light and keep moving. I love that the writers created a story that was unique and off the grid. It's a story that we've never seen before, really, in the Black community, done quite this way. All stories don't have to have pimps, hoes, and drug dealers. All stories don't have to have cussing 12-year-olds who want to skip school and don't like their mother's boyfriend. Okay, sorry, that's an aside. But all stories don't have to involve drugs and having to live life the hard way. Sometimes some of us grew up on a different side of the tracks. Some of us, were raised in middle-class families and didn't really get into drugs and were able to go to college, and our parents did start businesses. So I like that this story is something that's new and refreshing. So now let's get into your character development. You have your supportive parent and your non-supportive parent. The non-supportive parent is not non-supportive of his son per se. He's non-supportive because he doesn't understand why we already have this successful business and you don't want a part of it. He's like, I've put all the ingredients in the pot. Well, grandfather, put all the ingredients in the pot. The father came, put the pot on the stove. He's stirring it, mixing it, checking it, making sure it's okay. All the son has to do is keep stirring the pot. Like, it's already done. And the father doesn't quite understand why his son wants to do something, such as become a sommelier and study abroad, when he's having to learn a whole new industry from scratch. And this is already done. The mother, on the other hand, is telling the father, like, hey, yeah, he's our son. Yeah, we raised him to take this business over. But if that's not what's in his heart to do, he's going to be miserable doing it. Just let the boy live. If he goes over there and decides that being a sommelier is not what he wants to do, okay, fine. But at least he did it and saw that it was not for him. It's not a, 75-year-old birthday party. What if I had gone to Paris and learned about wines? And he's not living that life. So you have the parent dynamic. I like that the Black family pulled together to support him. They decorated and they had food and drinks. They had a little party, which made me tear up because I was like, I want a party. I want to be around people. I want to see other people and be close to them enough to touch them. And then they even raised money for him. So it shows that we can come together as a people. We can support our relatives and our friends in their endeavors. Even if it's something we don't quite understand, you can still show love and support to someone else, someone who you care about. So the family is fighting on multiple fronts. And this was really good. So you have the father-son fight, not a fight, but father-son not agreeing. Then you have the son fighting for his dream, including the finances. So not only is he fighting against something that is novel, new, he's fighting against the finances to be able to support that dream, because he may or may not be able to afford to go overseas to get this specific training that he needs. Then you have the mother who's fighting for her life. Now I feel like, mama got sick. We all knew what was going to happen, especially because of the emphasis that was put on the father-son fight. So you knew this fight was going to transcend the mother in life. We know the mom is going to die. But damn, I feel like she died in like 6 minutes. She was sick. The cancer came back. She did like 2 chemo treatments, talked to her son, laughed at him, taking some pictures, and then she's dead. Like, what the hell? It happened way too fast for me, but I guess because they were like, well, they know what's going to happen. Let's just make it happen. But the moment where it clicks for the father, to me, was a huge aha. moment. And I don't mean aha in the heart. I mean aha. I'm sorry, in the mind. I mean aha in the heart. When that happened, it's one of those, dang, he really, really gets it. He understands what the son has been doing all this time. It's not just a want, it's almost a need for the son to follow this dream. And he's good at it. So, just as good as the father is at maintaining this restaurant and cutting up these ribs, the son is just that good when it comes to vino. I remember I went to Italy last summer, with my mom and my brother. My brother was doing, he's teaching Black art song, Negro spirituals, and he did 5 or 6 stops overseas, a few different countries, Italy, Germany, I think France too. So in each stop, he gives a concert, but he speaks to the locals in their language. It was like totally cool because I only speak English and mama. So we get to the restaurant. Me and my mom got there like a day or two before he did. So he's like, hey guys, I'm here. Where are you? We're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna come find you. So we're in Rome. My mom speaks German. She does not speak Italian. So we're like fish out of water. We get to the restaurant. We find CJ. Oh yay, CJ. Oh yay, mommy and Carla. Yay, yay, yay. So we sit down, open up the menu, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm a total spoiled American. I'm like, there's no English anywhere. But because he speaks so many languages, my mom speaks languages, and I am a classically trained singer, I have sang in English, the German, French, Spanish, Dutch, Welsh, Afrikaans. So, and I studied Spanish and Latin in school, so I can look at words, and kind of figure out what the menu is. So I'm like, oh gosh, let me put on my smart people brain. Okay. So I was like, CJ, is this da-da-da-da-da, whatever? He's like, yeah. So he's talking to the waiter comes, and I was like, hi, I'd like your talagria with, and the guy's just looking at me like, really, sis? So then my brother starts talking to him, and I'm asking my brother questions. My brother's asking him questions. He's responding in Italian. And it was such a, oh my gosh, I get it now, why you like to travel so much. This is a really cool experience. That's kind of how I felt when the dad got the aha. He got it in that very moment. And he's not an emotional character, which most fathers are not. Not even Black fathers. Most fathers are not emotional, but especially Black fathers. They'll give you that, yeah, I support you, son, pat on the back. So when his father shows up to the hotel, he was like, oh, you came? Well, yeah, because your mother will want me here. Well, the mom's passed away. She won't know if you're there or not. But the father's there to show support. And it's almost like he doesn't even know how to show support other than just to be there. And sometimes that's all you need. Oh, yeah. So then I have the dad showing up at the hotel talking about the mom haunting him from the grave. That's what he said. Then he brings wine and dominoes. That warmed my heart. I did a happy dance because I feel like as a creative, I can appreciate parents being supportive and family being supportive. Some people are like, what do you do? My daddy was like, but what is your title? And I was like, I'm a writer. I mean, no. I know what you do, but what is your title? And I was like, I'm a writer. Like, I don't have a title because I don't have a job. It's a career. It's a movement. It's a creative entity. Like, this is what I do. So my parents may not, or he may not have necessarily understood it, but he's always supported me. He gave me money to self-publish my books the first time. When you have people to motivate you and encourage you, even when they don't get it, it means that much more. So his dad showing up was like happy dance in my heart, because even though the dad is at the bar like, yeah, give me a Jack neat and make it double because of reparations. And the son is like speaking fluid sommelier, just like off his tongue. I loved it. So of course, this is one of those movies where I really couldn't figure out the ending, which doesn't happen very often. But in my heart, I kind of felt like he wasn't going to be successful that first go round. And he was not. But I love the obstacles that they set in place and how he jumped over those hurdles. The arguments with his girlfriends, the disagreement with his dad, not having the finance, losing his mother. Through it all, he never gave up. I give Uncorked 4 wine glasses. I really, really liked it. And actually, there isn't much I would have done differently other than kept his mom around a little bit longer and tried to dig a little bit deeper into the mother-son relationship. I felt like they could have explored that a little bit more, or the relationship with the sister. The sister-brother had a little bit of banter back and forth, like me and my brother. I'm like, he's the favorite child, and he's like, you're the favorite child. And so there was a part where the sister was like, I want a party. That's me, always. But I think the movie was really good. It was refreshing. And if you need something really good to watch this weekend that's toned down, a low-key, enjoyable watch, try it out. Uncorked on Netflix. After you watch it, come back and leave me a comment to let me know what you thought. Happy watching.